Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's Season 6, Episode 3, and today we go away to playoff chasing rivals Ipswich Town as we try to continue a relatively impressive start to the season. It is a slightly false position we've got up there in 8th place, as we have played a lot of sides in the bottom half, culminating with bottom of the league Peterborough in the last game. But now, as we face some of our playoff rivals, the likes of Ipswich, Aston Villa and Millwall, we'll get a chance to really prove ourselves at this level and show just how good a manager we are. So before we go and have a look at the results in a bit more detail, as well as the couple of injuries we've got today to first team players, I just wanted to bring your attention to the stats at the bottom. We've talked in both series along the way about how we've scored a lot of goals but conceded too many. But look at this one, we're the opposite way round here. We've got the 5th best defensive record in the league, and that's something I'm particularly proud of. We haven't had a red card either, which is nice. We've also got a good average attendance, trying to get the ground a lot more full than last year, and that's really worked quite well so far, as we've been winning more games than not. But before we get into the game, let's go and have a look at the schedule. You want to see how we've got here. We're on a really decent unbeaten run. We only lost that one game after the Spurs one in the last episode, and it was an emphatic defeat as well. Away to my beloved Luton Town's rivals Watford, we got spanked 4-0. It was a bit of a hangover from the midweek game. We just didn't recover and deserved to lose heavily. However, since then it's 7 unbeaten, although I don't think we've played any sides in the top half of the league. We had Bolton at home, which was a 0-0 draw, a really boring game, but we defended well. We then beat Pompey 1-0, a late Warren Potts goal off the bench, a bit of a super sub for us again. 2-0 away at Rotherham as we started a run of 3 Yorkshire derbies in a row. Woodrow got a second in the 91st minute, but we'd already gone ahead from an own goal. But one thing you can see is we're winning a lot of these games in the last 15 or 20 minutes. We then drew away at Sheffield Wednesday 1-1. This was one of the rare occasions we lost the win late on. Corley Woodrow with an early goal and Lacardia equalising for them. And then at home to Sheffield United we won 1-0. A first half goal from Joel, who was covering at right midfield due to an injury crisis, was enough to get us the 3 points. We started November away to Middlesbrough, a really decent 1-1 draw and another late goal by Corley Woodrow in the last 10, before an emphatic 5-1 win against Peterborough, an absolute trouncing. They're bottom of the league on single figures for a reason, and it showed in this game. Youngster Noel Goodwin got a brace, Lindsay, Woodrow and Lewis all contributing too. And we are going to talk briefly about Adam Lewis, who's been a little bit of a hero in this save. He struggled to get in the team in our other series at Torquay, the only player we have in both series. And on this occasion, he's just been wonderful. 4 assists and a goal, 3 of those assists coming in the last game. And he's just really started to train well, his personality's improving, and I feel like he's going to be something special this season. We might be proven wrong. I hope it's not just a temporary run of form. But as we mentioned, we have got a few tough games coming up now. In our next 4 games, we've got Ipswich, Aston Villa and Millwall, who are all in the top 6. They're 3 of the playoff sides at the moment. And then the big sides, the likes of West Brom and Leicester towards the end of December, as we go through that tricky winter period. So things could look a lot worse as we start January, but hopefully when we come back for the next episode after this one, we'll still be in relatively decent shape. But enough reflecting on our successes of the last 6 weeks. Let's get into the game. We want to talk about some of the changes we've been forced to make. Our first choice holding midfielder Scully's out injured. That means Van der Berger's going to get a chance today. And we've also got an injury to Lloyd Kelly, who's just not been able to keep consistently fit this year. Charlie Taylor's back and on form again, so Lloyd Kelly will drop out for good. If we look at the lineup, we are slight favourites. I'm not quite sure how as we're going away to a side above us, but hey ho, that's what the media predict. We've got Lumley in goal, Colin and Taylor are the fullbacks with Lindsay and Cook in the middle, Van der Berger as we mentioned in the holding role, Lewis and Armstrong maintaining their places on the wings, with Mowat coming in for Benniker who's been on international duty, alongside Goodwin, the 2-goal hero from the last game in the middle. Corley Woodrow's up front, 7 goals for him now as he's doing a really decent job for us, and I just feel like we've got to stick by the team that won 5-1. A couple of the more familiar names, the likes of Bakuna's been out injured for a little while. He's just coming back to fitness now. Adam Reach has dropped out. He's been in really poor form. The coaches may rate him as a 3-star player, but he's certainly not performing like one. We've still got some game changers off the bench, and we're trying to get these 2 youngsters, Jackson and Burton, as many minutes as possible, especially in games like the Peterborough one, where they're wrapped up after an hour. But let's get into the game. Fingers crossed we can do a job. We've got a good formation away from home for sitting behind teams and trying to get a draw and then nicking one on the counter if need be. So hopefully that will pay dividends again today. It would probably be fair to say there's far more attacking intent from Ipswich in this one, an attacking 4-2-3-1, and let's just hope they aren't going to get the better of us. They've got Saka, the young Arsenal player, on the left, someone who's really well talked about in real life, but he doesn't seem to have made it in this one, so hopefully he won't cause us too much trouble. Although now I'm sure I've said his name, he'll cause all sorts of chaos. We're going to encourage the lads. There's not much more we can say. They're doing really well and they might just have an off day. They're finally playing a side above them in the league, and last time we did that, we lost 4-0 at Watford. Emmanuel's got the ball at the back for Ipswich. The keeper Woodman clears, but Van Berger heads away and the highlight ends with no damage. Still 0-0 with 5 minutes gone. We've got a long throw on the left. No real highlights in this one so far. We've made the game what we wanted. As Goodwin crashes the bar, what an effort that was. A really good attempt on goal, but it just looked like the keeper got a hand to it to deny him. A throw on the left for Taylor. He finds Goodwin. Over the top towards Woodrow. He's got it on the byline to the back post for Armstrong. Got two in there. It deflects out to Mowat and it's blocked again. We've had all the shots so far, but no one's hit the target just yet. Just over the half an hour mark, it's Hughes with a free kick for Ipswich, but that's comfortably over. We can deal with those all day. We've got another attacking throw on the right this time. Colin heads away, it's knocked to the edge to Goodwin. Good effort on goal, but it's just over the bar. He's starting to get more confident in front of goal, Goodwin, and he's hitting the target more often now as well, but not on this occasion, as it remains goalless and looks like it will be at the break. But a decent performance away to the fifth side in the league, and hopefully we can get a good point, or at least a performance to give us encouragement as we move on to the rest of the big sides in the league. We're 0-0 at half time. We've had the better of it slightly though. The only shot on target of the match in fact, but it's not been the best game overall. Just the 3 or 4 highlights. Most of our attacks, as you can see, have come from long throws or set pieces, either free kicks or corners. It just shows how well we've set them up. We've put a lot of work into it, knowing that we've got a young side. We're missing technical qualities in some areas and we're not quite as physically strong as other sides, so we've got to take advantage of clever set piece routines, and we have so far this season. Bergwin's a header for Ipswich at the back post though, a couple of deflections in the box, and it's deflected behind for a corner as Ipswich still can't muster a shot on target. It's Edwards to take it for them, headed away by Charlie Taylor, only as far as Nolan, out to Edwards on the right, into the middle, but Lumley claims the cross, and still no shot for Ipswich. We've got a corner at the other end this time. Taylor with an outswinger, Lewis flicks it on at the front post, but it was just over the bar, and the commentary said unlucky, so we'll go along with that sentiment. It's a long throw on the left for Taylor again. Every start of a highlight is a set piece. There's nothing else to it. No brilliant open flowing play. Just set piece after set piece, and normally our throw-ins. Lewis with a poor cross this time, and how many times have we seen that in this match? A long cross going straight into the keeper's arms, but a one ball route one over the top for Ipswich. Hartigan won in 1-on-1, but it was straight at Lumley, and this game has really lacked quality. A quarter to go. Armstrong's not had a good game, so we're going to bring Bakuna on for him. There's not much else that's been poor. Mowat's not his best, so Benaker will come back in too. And we'll just leave the last sub for now. Quite often we go for Potts over the top in the last 10. But with our dominance coming from set pieces, I don't know if I want to risk that yet. Nolan shoots from 30 yards. It's a really good effort. We've mentioned the long shots before this season, and Lumley has to tip it wide for a corner. Edwards with an outswinger for them. Into the front post, hits the post and then the man. Ipswich starting to dominate the shots on target in any second there. Nolan gets it on the edge of the box. They went from none to 2. Berg gets it into Hartigan, but it's cleared. And now Nolan again. He goes down the right hand side, but it's over here. And he's out for a goal kick, as we'll demand a bit more from the lads. 10 minutes to go. The front three have all been pretty even in terms of performance, but Adam Lewis is the least fit and he's got a yellow card, so we're going to bring Tiam on for him just to give him 10 minutes to make a difference. We'll see if it happens. If not, we'll happily take a point. Just 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. Ipswich have got a throw on the left. They find Saka. Over the top towards Coyne. Lindsay heads away as far as Goodwin. He's got a man out on the left but goes back to Van Berger. He goes over the top. Clark will get there. Woodrow's chasing them down, but it's easily cleared by Woodman. He finds Hughes. Back to Clark. They've got time to bring it forward again as we just sit in our shape behind the ball. Nolan to Hughes, and once we get to here we should start pressing. Saka's won the header, Cook heads away, but it's only as far as Nolan again. Out to Emmanuel, the right back. He's got a terrible rating today for some reason, but the header clears it away and Bakuna gets it further out. Colin wins the ball from the free kick. It's gone back to Brown on the right and it's going to be a corner though, and Ipswich have got a last chance to nick it. It could be heartbreak yet. Brown with an out-swinging corner, Coyne heads it in, and we've done it in the 93rd minute again. We've given away a stupid goal. I'm going to tell the lads to show some passion, but it's too little too late. What I was about to say as that corner was coming in is you can see how we've been defensively more solid this year, but after defending set pieces brilliantly for 90 minutes, we've given away a stupid one in stoppage time. Glenn Coyne with a winner for Ipswich, and to be fair, on the balance of the second half, they probably deserved it. We're going to tell the lads they weren't good enough, but overall plenty of positive signs as we've gone away to a top playoff team and really competed well. The first half we probably should have got one, but unfortunately it just wasn't to be. We've got a tough 2 games coming up in a week, as you can see there. Mid-table Preston at home is one we have to win before a really tricky game away at Villa. Someone called Woods is close to triggering a clause there. 110,000 if he makes 5 appearances. I'll tell you what, there's another good youngster. The amount of players this Barnsley team must have produced is absolutely unbelievable. We spoke in the summer about that striker Effiong, who we got about 5 million for in our 5-year review. That was another one who'd been sold on at 16. And there are just so many brilliant players that have come from this club in the last 3 or 4 years. It's absolutely remarkable. We finally lose after 7 games unbeaten. It was bound to happen eventually, and as we said at the start of the episode, it may be a slightly false position. If we go to our schedule, I think we know when we'll next be back. We've got a big month in December, which culminates with a home game against Leicester City. They're the current leaders of the league, and I think they're going to be one of the hardest tests we face this season. So we will be back for that one, and hopefully we'll see a magical performance under the lights at Oakwell. Although having said that, that's going to be a little bit tricky as it's a 3 o'clock afternoon kickoff. But that will be all for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of our performance and our start to the season. Do you think we can push for a surprise playoff place? Or do you think that's going to prove to be a little bit too far once we faced all the top sides in the league? I do accept that we've had quite an easy first quarter to the season with a lot of the bigger teams yet to come. Hopefully if we can get these players back from injury we'll be okay. But I think we really miss Scully in that holding role when he's not there. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one The Head Coach and our other series Part of the Furniture, which is back tomorrow at 4:30 with Torquay United. There's also weekly content from our FIFA 19 lower league career with Crew Alexandra. The latest episode of that was out yesterday, so go back and check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But a massive thanks for following the series as always, and your continued support. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time for what I hope will be a top of the table clash.